Yeah, I hope that you hearing me. This is the future, all about cybersecurity. Talking about the hackers, I'm just trying to warn you. From the one and only legend, the cyber informer. Hey, yeah, this is the cyber reformer. This is the cyber reformer. Let's go.
It's time for the Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast informational video. I am Michael Trimblett, the Cyber Informer, and today we'll be talking about the Essential 8's daily backups. There are a number of different ways you can back up your data and a number of different options to choose from. In this video, we'll show you the fundamental ideas behind backups and talk about key points you need to be aware of. Let's go! Daily backups relate back to availability and integrity in the CIA triad and is designed to be a part of a disaster recovery plan should the worst happen. To read about the Essential 8, go to https://loyalit.com.au/E8. This will redirect you to the government's website. System backups need to be secure, redundant, and tested to ensure recoverability should they be needed. Backups need to be configured on key workstations and servers. Backup retention needs to be considered. Backup retention simply means how long a backup's stored for before they are overwritten. The Essential 8 recommends backups to be stored for 3 months or greater. We will look at retention options when we look at setting up a backup, which will be available in the How-To section of the Premium membership. More information from the government can be found at the site listed on this slide. So how do we achieve this? Luckily, there are technologies and a framework which supports these requirements. Let's have a look at the framework first. The 3-2-1 backup strategy is a popular backup framework. The Essential 8 doesn't recommend a framework, however the 3-2-1 backup framework is recommended by the United States government. The 3-2-1 backup strategy is broken down into its components, which are 3 copies of your data, that is your live data, plus at least 2 copies, 2 different media. For example, your backups are stored on a NAS and USB hard drive. You are not restricted to this, it's just what's most convenient and cost effective. This has changed over time. I remember back when I first started in IT, this was floppy disks. 1 offsite. The data copy is taken offsite or synced offsite via the internet. This is a very important part of the backup strategy. Taking the backups offsite helps protect you from fire, flood, theft, or any other disaster that may occur at the business premises. Do not store your backups on site, even in a fireproof safe. It has been proven that in some cases fireproof safes heat up enough to melt the backup media. Back in the late 90s, I was providing support to dental and specialist medical practices. There was a dentist in Sydney who was backing up on floppy disks. He was taking the disks home with him every night. One weekend, when the practice was closed, his business was robbed. They took everything. The safe was broken open and all computer equipment was stolen, including all of the floppy disks he had on site. Because he had taken home the floppy disks on the Friday night, I was able to provide a replacement PC and restore his system to that. By late Monday morning, he was operational again on his critical systems. Without that backup off-site, he would have lost all of his patient data. These days, backup technology has improved. There is a myriad of different backup products and technologies, each offering something different. Backup software is a product you install on your computer. Common backup software solutions include Shadow Protect, Veeam, Acronis, Enable Backup, Skykick for Microsoft 365, and even Windows and Mac have their own backup utilities built in. They just have to be enabled and configured, although these products are limited in their abilities. Loyal IT Solutions recommends a number of different solutions depending on your business requirements. These could be Shadow Protect for local backups and Loyal IT's hybrid cloud backup, Enable Backup for local to cloud, Skykick for cloud to cloud backup. We will talk about the specifics of these over in the premium membership area. They all have their own pros and cons. Backup hardware refers to the physical devices you back up your data to. These are referred to as mass storage devices. Mass storage devices refer to devices that provide consistent and permanent storage capacity. Mass storage devices are connected to the computer or server via a data transfer interface, such as a SCSI device or these days USB or FireWire. Mass storage devices can even be connected by Ethernet. In other words, directly connected to your network. Common mass storage devices include floppy disk drives, optical drives such as CD, DVD, and Blu-ray, hard disk drives, tape drives, external hard drives, RAID, and USB storage devices. Currently, Typical mass storage devices provide anywhere from a few gigabytes to petabytes of storage. Internal mass storage devices generally can't be removed, whereas external mass storage devices can be easily removed and plugged into another computer. So you've chosen your backup product, your mass storage device, and configured the backups to run automatically. Do you know if your backups are running? Do you check the reports for errors or warnings? Do you have your backup system emailing you successes and failures? If you answered no to the above, I hope the answer is yes to this question. Does your IT company monitor your backups for you? In my time in the industry, I've noticed monitoring of backups is done poorly. Even if you have backup reports being sent to you, often they're not checked. It also happens that if the backup program were to crash, it would not back up and it would not send you a report via email. Unless you are actively looking at that report daily, you may miss the fact that the backup software has crashed and failed to send you a report. What if the backup device you are backing up to develops a fault? If you are not looking at your reports and considering the warning messages, you could be backing up to a location that you can't restore from. My first 4 questions I ask when I go to a new business and ask about their backups are: 1. What program do you use to back up? 2. Who is checking your reports? 3. Are you taking your backups off-site? 4. Who is in charge of rotating the backup drives? In most, if not all cases, these questions are met with the answer, I don't know. These are important questions to know the answers to. You don't want to be in the situation where you have been the victim of a ransomware attack and then ask the question, how do we back up? If you don't know how you back up and are unsure if you can restore your data, you risk losing it all. Sync tools like Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive are not backups. These tools sync your data to the cloud. Any deletions or changes are synchronized to the cloud too. Whilst it is nice to have a copy of your data in the cloud in these services, sync tools do not conform to the 3-2-1 backup framework, and it will not save you from a cyber attack. So what should your backup solution do? It should be a full snapshot of your entire computer, not just a data drive. You should be backing up at least daily. You should be able to restore from 3 months back or longer. You should test restore your backups regularly. You should be monitoring the backups daily for errors and warnings. If you are taking the data off-site, which you should be, it should be encrypted, so if the device is lost, the person who has found it, or stolen it in the worst case, can't access your data. So how does the 3-2-1 backup process work? For that, we need a propeller hat zone. This section is rated 0.5 propeller hats out of 5, as we'll be talking about the process of the backup. The backup runs at least once daily, preferably multiple times. Once complete, backup logs should be checked for errors. Logs should be emailed for convenience. Backups are then transferred to removable mass storage. The mass storage device should be removed and another mass storage device plugged in. The mass storage device should then be taken off-site. I recommend a mass storage device for each day of the work week. Let's have a look to see how this works. This is your network. We have the server on the left, we have a NAS device in the middle, and we have your removable mass storage device on the right-hand side. The mass storage device is labeled Monday USB drive. We can see on the right-hand side there's your home, and with 4 other USB hard drives at home, presumably each labeled for the day of the week, Monday through Friday. So the server backs up your data to the network attached storage or NAS device. The NAS then syncs to the portable mass storage device. In this diagram, it is a USB hard drive labeled Monday. At close of business Monday, the USB hard drive is then taken home at night and stored in a secure location. The next drive in the rotation is brought back to the office and plugged into the NAS. The backup runs to the NAS, then the data is synced to the Tuesday device, and the process repeats for each working day of the week. In this scenario, both the NAS and the USB hard drives should have enough capacity to store 3 months worth of data. In most cases, a few terabytes are more than enough to meet the requirements of the Essential 8. Exiting the propeller hat zone, we now know how the 3-2-1 backup works. Securing your backups. Backups should be encrypted to protect you from the backups falling into the wrong hands. There will be an option in the backup software that can be enabled to facilitate this. Backups should be stored offline, in other words, in a USB hard drive rotation. Backups stored online, but in a non-rewritable and non-erasable manner. In other words, use NAS security settings and or internal routing to achieve this. This is important as it protects you from ransomware. Backups are stored for 3 months or greater. In other words, capacity of the hard drives and the NAS must be considered, and a retention policy of the backup set so the drives do not fill up. In order to be compliant with the Essential 8 Maturity Level 3, we must do the following. Perform a full restoration of backups at least once when initially implemented, and each time fundamental information technology infrastructure changes occur. This is hard to achieve in small-medium enterprises because server space or a secondary server is required for a full restoration. Partial restoration of backups is tested on a quarterly or more frequent basis. This is easy to achieve as we can choose a folder to be restored and restore it to a location on the network and test the recovered data to ensure it restored correctly. In the premium membership, there will be individual videos on each of the Essential 8, which will dive into each of the maturity levels and what you need to know to implement them. For the moment, all we need to know is that there are 3 levels in each of the Essential 8 items: maturity level 1, 2, and 3. To be fully aligned with Daily Backup's maturity level 3, we must conform to the following strategies. Backups of important information, software, and configuration settings are performed at least daily. Backups are stored offline or online in a non-rewritable and non-erasable manner. Backups are stored for 3 months or greater. Full restoration of backups is tested at least once when initially implemented, and each time fundamental information technology infrastructure changes occur. Partial restoration of backups is tested on a quarterly or more frequent basis. What did we learn? We now know about the 3-2-1 backup framework. We now understand the importance of daily backups and having an offsite copy. We know what software and hardware components make up a backup. We know we must be monitoring and testing our backups frequently. We understand Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive are not backups. Thank you for joining me for a look at daily backups. Don't forget, you can contact me via email, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Until next time, stay safe online.
Oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down like, oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down, yeah.